Welcome to Take Me Out, the ultimate podcast about ballparks and the baseball experience. It's May 7th, 2025. I'm Alexandra Ellis, and I'm joining my friend Timothy Malcolm.
What's up, baseball fans? Welcome to Take Me Out. It is episode number 14.
How
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm struggling through a little of allergy stuff right now, which is why I don't sound great, but it's a fact of life that happens all the time. But I'm doing good. A little worried about the Astros right now, but again, it's a marathon, not a sprint, which you can only say for so long.
They're hovering at 500, right? That's what they're doing?
Yeah, and I think I saw what the A's are one game back from first place right now.
Yeah, the A's have been playing pretty well. I mean, I think they were like a sneaky pick for a lot of people this year.
Interesting.
That they would, perform different ballpark, young team, a lot of energy. Who knows? So they're playing kind of up to some people's expectations. My Phillies are doing fine. They had a really bad week a couple weeks ago, but came back this past week and played pretty well. I just watched them beat the Tampa Bay Rays at Steinbrenner Field. They were there tonight, and I got to tell you, the Rays did a pretty good job of at least making Steinbrenner Field look like a Rays ballpark, as opposed to what the deal is in
cityless
Sacramento.
A's. Yeah,
the cityless A's. Whereas the Rays, it feels like, it kind of looks like the Rays are playing here. It's their home, kind of a thing.
Like they still care about the organization. It's wild. What a concept.
There is some semblance of care there. I will say, though, that Steinbrenner Field for the Phillies and Rays, definitely like 60-40 Phillies fans. And that's mostly because a lot of Phillies fans live in the Tampa St. Pete area because that's where the Phillies spring training is. And it's been there for the past 70 plus years. So there's enough lineage that the generations of Phillies fans have gone down there and have retired there. And younger families from Philadelphia have gone to Tampa St. Pete to live there. So it's a pretty big Philly contingent. And plus flights from Philly to Tampa St. Pete are like $80. They're cheap as heck. They're very cheap. Yeah.
Good for them. That's nice. That must be nice.
So it's gonna kind of sound like a Phillies home series this week in Tampa, but nevertheless, like I said, this is episode 14 of Take Me Out. Thank you for listening. If you are new to us, or if it's your 14th time with us, or your 10th time, or 7th time, or what have you, this podcast is all about ballparks and the baseball experience. I am the author of a book about baseball and ballparks called Baseball Road Trips. It is here in my hand, and it's also behind Alex. There it is.
Was. Oh, here it is. Yeah, right here. Hello. It's normally behind, this is actually, fun fact, this is actually a microwave underneath this Astros towel. So
you don't need to give it all away. You don't need to David Copperfield telling all your secrets here.
This is MacGyvering things. But yeah, here's the first edition.
That's the first edition.
Yeah.
I wrote that book. It's about what to do in all the ballparks and around the ballparks and the cities where the ballparks are across North America.
Okay.
And so this podcast is a supplement to that because the book comes out every couple of years. The podcast is every week. And the idea is to update you on what's going on in ballparks and to also give you more and more knowledge, more and more fun, more and more fact, whatever the heck. This is what this podcast is all about. That's Take Me Out. Today on Take Me Out, we are going to talk about how to be a fan.
Yes.
We're going to get on our ivory tower, our throne from way up high, because I have been to hundreds of baseball games in my life, maybe thousands even. You, I'm sure, have been to how many?
I would say hundreds. I wouldn't say thousands yet.
Okay.
But a lot. I've been to more than 3. I can tell you
more
that.
Than three.
Yeah.
More than 3. So that means you are an expert of going to baseball games. And so this episode is going to be about what we think the 10 fan commandments should be for when you're going to a baseball game. These are the things you should keep in mind and abide by as you are going to the ballpark. And I mean it. It's real. We're going to get into it. Big stuff. Very excited. But that'll be coming up. Before we even get into everything else, just, like I said, if you are here for the first time, thank you for listening. If this is you're a veteran here, you've been repeating, you've been listening to us a bunch, thank you for listening or watching us on YouTube. And please tell people that you know who love baseball about us, because we are here for you. We are here to spread the knowledge, spread the wealth, spread the love about baseball to the world. So that is what we're trying to do here on Take Me Out. So thank you for listening, but spread the word. Please do so.
Glad to have y'all.
Glad to have you. Let's talk about the news.
Let's get into the news. While sides are reportedly getting closer to a deal over Chase Field improvements, a commitment allegedly insinuated that Major League Baseball could pull spring training from Arizona if the deal didn't get done.
It's a weird, interesting story, kind of
know.
like backroom dealings or something going on here.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this Diamondbacks stadium upgrade situation. They've been trying to upgrade Chase Field. The park has been around for 30 plus years now, about 30 years, less than 30 years, I guess. And they're trying to get this $500 million deal done to upgrade the ballpark. There's been disrepair. There's been problems. We talked about in our last episode how there was an actual leak, like the plumbing, like there was a leak in the plumbing, and the water came down. What was it? Cold beer and cheeseburgers, I think was the name of the place.
The most original name of any kiosk you could ever think of. Yes.
Yeah, give us a name for a baseball kiosk. Cold beer, cheeseburgers.
I mean, it gets to the point. So
yeah, it does get to the point. So there was a leak there. They've been having a lot of problems with the ballpark. They did repair the roof recently. The roof is renovated. It can, it opens a lot quicker now, all that stuff. Great. But they still need to improve that ballpark a lot more. And so the D-backs are looking for $500 million to do it. The problem is they need to get multiple officials on board here. They're supposed to get the city of Phoenix on board, Maricopa County, Arizona on board, and of course the Diamondbacks have to be in lockstep with all of them. And so it's been touch and go. And then the governor of Arizona came in and was like, we're going to make this deal. We're going to get this done. We're going to get everybody on the same page and get through this stadium deal so we can move on with our lives and keep the Diamondbacks in Phoenix for the long term. And what happened here, the Arizona Republic reported that Andrew Cohn of the Diamondbacks, he works for the Diamondbacks, made a statement during a meeting between Diamondback staff and both Phoenix and Maricopa County officials. And the comment was that, well, it's not going to look good if there is no baseball team in Arizona, and potentially Major League Baseball would want to leave Arizona altogether, as in the Cactus League spring training. They would leave Arizona altogether. There's no real reality right now that A, the Diamondbacks are leaving Arizona, and that B, Major League Baseball would actually leave Arizona if there wasn't a team in Arizona. None of that is real. Now, an offhand comment like that could have been a joke. It could have been kind of a way to sort of needle at the county or at the city just to say, hey, remember what is at stake here. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's serious, but do you have any thoughts? Do you think this is a serious comment that was made and then recorded and was an eyewitness said, yes, this was said? Do you really think this is a serious comment?
I wouldn't take it seriously until you actually hear something similar from Major League Baseball. I think it sounds like he's trying to drum up support for a threat that we don't know if it's there or not. It just sounds like a pretty dramatic hypothetical, because pulling spring training from any location, that's a big deal. You're affecting a lot of people. That's a lot of money. You got to find another place to house
thousands of people. Thousands of people. Yeah.
And the economy of a city, of a state, from the tourism. And that's a huge, huge, huge deal. I think what he's trying to do, and again, I wasn't at the meeting. I don't live in Arizona. I don't work for Major League Baseball. Shocker. But I think it sounds like he's trying to drum up support for something that I don't know if he's making it up. I don't know. It just sounds like a really weird statement to say if there's no facts behind it. So I don't know. I'm just kind of like, are you sure this is the thing? Because again, unless I hear from Major League Baseball, I'm not going to be inclined to believe that.
Yeah, I mean, either it's like a kind of a joke or just a stupid, silly comment, or it's chest pumping to kind of maintain some sort of power over the situation, because obviously the Diamondbacks, they are in a place of power because they can ultimately say whether they want to leave or stay in Phoenix, but obviously the long-term future of this team is really dependent on getting these stadium upgrades done. And if that doesn't happen, then you got to get a stadium deal. And if that doesn't happen, then you have to find some other city to go to, and they will want a stadium and a new stadium. And so there are different steps. And so that's a whole process. And so I don't think this is based in a lot of reality. However, I did say in the last episode when we talked about this whole $500 million deal and the governor stepping in and the pipe bursting and cold beer and cheeseburgers, there is a part of me, a small part of me, and it's growing a little bit larger every day when I hear these kinds of things, that the long-term future of the Arizona Diamondbacks is one of the most tenuous futures in baseball. I think the most tenuous is obviously the Tampa Bay Rays right now, because they might not even have a ballpark to go to, and Tropicana Field might not be the long-term solution. And so what happens after that, who knows? They're already in that sort of next step of the process. The athletic situation, well, we know where they're going. They're going to Vegas. That stadium's being built. It's a whole thing. That's fine. Like they're in a pretty good situation, all things considered. Like good being they have a solid future ahead of them. Mm-hmm. But if you take Tampa Bay out of the consideration here, it really feels like the Diamondbacks are the next team in baseball where it's possible they could leave that city at some point. Like it just feels like there's more to it there. So, the Angels are kind of on that sort of place too. We've talked about the Angels and their issues with the city there. Maybe I don't think Kansas City is going to leave, but they are looking for a new ballpark there in Kansas City. But I think the Diamondbacks are in that tenuous spot where one thing goes wrong, a second thing goes wrong, suddenly, we could be looking for another city and we're going to get out of there completely. So again, I don't think this is serious, but the more that these kinds of stories happen and the more that this $500 million upgrade deal drags on and they don't have a solution to it, or maybe it goes down to $250 million or whatever it is, the more to me it feels like there is, there's some smoke to this whole Diamondbacks future thing.
Yeah, I can see that. It makes me worried because again, that's thousands of fans that I
don't think they're leaving. I don't think Cactus League is going away though. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, because that's a huge. That's completely different from upgrading a ballpark. That's a huge, huge deal right there.
Yeah, and what are you going to do? Are you going to put every team in like California and like have like some sort of like a Northern California spring training? I don't even know if Northern California is a good idea. Southern California spring training? Are there enough ballparks in the LA San Diego area that can handle like 10,000 people, per ballpark? Like are there? I don't know if there are enough. Texas, could you do it here in Texas? Are there enough ballparks in Texas that can handle 10,000 people? I don't think so.
How about
where would you put them? DFW Metroplex, probably that's the place. But I don't know if there are enough ballparks for that.
Yeah, well, they got Round Rock. I'm trying to think of other ones that are over there.
Like you could probably between DFW and Houston and Austin have enough parks to make a Cactus League style situation happen. But it is such a good situation in Phoenix with all the teams very close to each other that it would be dumb to leave there. But nevertheless, I don't think that's happening, but I do think there is just a little teensy bit of smoke right now. This whole Diamondbacks future, Chase Field kind of stuff.
Well, I'm interested in seeing where that's going to go because, they got to fix that park. All right, moving on. The plan to install a gondola system connecting fans to Dodger Stadium has hit a roadblock.
We have not talked about the Dodger Stadium gondolas. Do you know anything about the gondolas at Dodger Stadium?
I don't, and that does not sound like a great idea. It's no Dodgers fans. I'm like, we want to have people dangling from things in the sky after a Dodgers game. Is that a good idea? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Do you want to be drunk and dangling from a gondola? That's probably not great.
The doors have to lock them from the outside because my God.
I'm sure there would be like some sort of like test before you get on the gondola. Like, can you walk in a straight line? No, you're not going to the gondola.
You got to do a little breathalyzer test before you
go to the Uber line. Yeah. Breathalyzer for the gondola.
Oh, yeah.
So the gondola project. This has been around since 2018, and this would be funded by former Dodgers owner Frank McCourt and his son. The idea is they would connect Union Station and Chinatown Station, which are, 10 to 15 minutes as the crow flies from Dodger Stadium. But because of traffic and the way that the roads are out there, it's like 30 minutes or something like that. It would connect Union Station and Chinatown Station to Dodger Stadium and, that Los Angeles State Historic Park area as well. they would all connect each other through this gondola system, aerial, like an air tram kind of a thing. LA Metro, which is the city's public transportation system, approved an environmental impact report for the gondola system. But the news here is that a court rejected that approval. So they have to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit more. And there's some talk that maybe, they're trying to push this gondola system through and it hasn't been thought out enough or whatever. So that's the news there. So do you like the idea of a gondola system? Jokes about drunk people aside.
I think it's a fun idea. It kind of fits the area, especially even though this is completely different part of town than Anaheim. But like you got all the gondolas with Disney World or Disneyland over there, so it kind of fit the aesthetic. I can see it fitting more with Anaheim.
Well, they're used to it. They're used to an air tram situation out there in that part of the world.
Oh, really? Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Well, because of Disney World, because of Disneyland, they have the monorail and all that. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think it could be fun. I mean, it is another version of public transportation. It would theoretically get people off the roads because after you drink whatever at the game. I think it could be fun, but then again, I'm still thinking about drunk Dodgers fans in a box hanging from the sky. That's all I can think about. And it does not sound great.
I imagine so there are air gondola systems that have been proposed for different cities across the country. In fact, the Dallas-Fort Worth area has been sort of bandying about this thing, and there's a company that does air gondolas. I forget what they're called, but they've been in talks with some of the smaller cities in DFW to put together a system for those cities because it is a way to have public transportation that isn't, heavy on emissions and it keeps cars off the roads. And it's a smaller kind of system. You're not going to have a gondola system that's as big as like an actual metro system or something like that. It's going to be like a line essentially. And so smaller cities are good for that. I actually think this would be great for Dodger Stadium because if you go to Dodger Stadium, actually getting to Dodger Stadium and leaving Dodger Stadium is the hardest part of the entire experience. It's terrible. It sucks. Yeah. It's up a hill. There's like one road. There's like a million cars that have to get up there. Then when you get to where you have to get to in Dodger Stadium, where you're parking your car, or you're getting out of the ride share, you have to walk like 10 minutes, like up the hills and up the staircases to get to the ballpark. It's a whole thing, right? And then when you leave
top
Dodger
of a hill,
Stadium,
it's just crazy.
And then when you leave Dodger Stadium, you then have to get out, and everybody's getting out basically one of like 2 or 3 exits, and it takes an hour to leave the park. And this is why people always joke about Dodger fans getting to the ballpark late and then they leave early. They're not good fans. It's not that they're not good fans. It's that they're trying to like not be in traffic for an hour and a half just to leave the ballpark.
Yeah.
So I get it. I totally get it. A gondola system would cut that completely because you would have a gondola system that starts at Union Station or Chinatown. You would, if you live somewhere else in LA and you can get to the station via a bus or via commuter or whatever, you could do that. And then you hop on the gondola. It's a 10-minute gondola ride over to Dodger Stadium. You hop over all the traffic and you get dropped off with a 5-minute walk to the ballpark. It's great. I mean, that would be great. I think it's a great idea. But obviously there seems to be more that has to be done with this system. But hopefully, if any ballpark could take advantage of this kind of thing, it is absolutely Dodger Stadium and they should go for it. I'm all in favor of a gondola system.
I mean, I want to see like how the cars would handle, like how large they would be, like how many people they could fit.
I think so. The ones that are being proposed for the smaller cities, the ones that I've seen, there's renderings of them and such. I believe you could fit like 4 people in them or something like that. But you get like on a given line at any time, there's like, 8 gondolas going at the same time. It's like a ski lift kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And so if it's like a 7-minute ride back and, up and then 7-minute ride back, you're probably waiting. You might be waiting 25, 30 minutes for your gondola, but it's not that bad. And you're considering like if you got to get in a ride share, you're waiting for the ride share, then you have to get in the ride share, then you have to wait in traffic, and then you get out of the ride share and you have to walk. So it's still about the same amount of time. It's just a different way of getting there. It spreads out the traffic. So that's pretty.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. I wonder, did the court say why they rejected it or?
Well, the environmental impact report apparently was rejected just because it didn't take into account some certain things, and it seems to be a little rushed. So I think they have to do more work on it. It'd have to go back to the drawing board a little bit. But, I mean, this is just the first part of it. It's going to take a long time. I mean, once you get the environmental impact report done, then you have to go through an entire, round of public comment, and they have to approve it. And then you go through the whole voting process and all that. So it'll take a long time before this actually happens. But it's a story that we'll want to follow over the next, year, 2 years, whatever it is, because it's certainly an interesting way to kind of change up the ballpark transportation methodology, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Up next, there are reportedly multiple graves at Tropicana Field. This is interesting.
Yes, Oak Lawn Cemetery, founded in 1905, is located at the current VIP parking lot 1 at Tropicana Field. It's actually it's not the stadium. It's not like under third base, like the Meadowlands and Jimmy Hoffa buried under the end zone. That's not true. That's not true. Nobody's ever said that. It's not real. I'm just kidding. Total joke. Don't look for me. Not going to go to the river. It's all good. That's right. There are at least 10 graves in this parking lot, and this has been public for a bit. I mean, it's been sort of public for a bit. These graves were discovered last summer, but it only became actually like officially public and out in the media very recently when a city official started asking about the report. So there was a report done in the summer about, these graves that were found, and nobody really said anything. And finally a public official, or, an local official was like, hey, what about these graves that are at Tropicana Field in the parking lot? What's the deal here? And so now they're trying to figure out what to do with these graves, because do you protect them? Do you have to move the parking lot? Do you create sort of a ancillary cemetery within the parking lot, which is what they have here in Houston, by the way? There is one of those.
No. What is this?
It's in like Northwest Houston, like near Spring Branch neighborhood. There is a
actually, it's in a business park.
It's like a shopping center. It's a shopping center.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's like Kuykendall, I believe it's called.
Kirkendall. Come on, Sam. Kirkendall. There's no R in there, but there's an R in there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a born Houstonian. I don't know what's going on here.
It's like spelled Kuhynd. It's like there's no R in there, but it's Houstonians. It's Kirkendall, and
Germans.
You just don't question it. You're like, sure.
Who knows? But yeah, there's one of those here in Houston, Northwest Houston. There's a cemetery that is in a parking lot of it's like a tire place or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, this is the deal here. There's a cemetery essentially in Tropicana Field's parking lot. What do you do, Alex? Like, what would you do in this situation?
I like to do a lot of fun research. I would research the history of the cemetery. I'd find out who those graves belong to. And then I would, if they have any surviving family, I would get in touch with them and say, hey, what would you like us to do with the remains of your great, 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 great grandfather who you didn't know existed until now? Because I do think having any surviving family having a say, it would probably be way up there in priorities, because these are human remains. And then like once you get done with that, you look at the viability of moving them if they want to be moved. But I definitely think the first step should be trying to find out who these remains belong to. Just for respect, because also they probably don't want to curse if that happens.
Do you name a food item at Tropicana Field after one of the buried? Do you remember them in some way at the ballpark?
Carl's hot dogs, Carl's bacon jam hot dog. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe you could name the parking lot, like some sections of the parking lot after them. Name some of the parking lots after them.
Here lies Helen's hot dogs.
Here lies Helen's hot dogs. Yes, and you would get like a little
rest in pizza.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry.
Rest in peace. But you would only do that if they make the playoffs, so they can play in October and have it be kind of spooky.
Okay. Yeah. Halloween themed. Yeah. Yeah, you decorate the cemetery for the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be great, but
this is terrible. The dark humor is not what we're trying to do right now.
I'm trying to be serious and saying contact their family, and you're like, let's name some food items after them.
I know. It was a light news week, but I'm with you. Contact the family, if there's any survivors, of any ancestors that are alive still or kin alive now, and contact them and see what they want to do, and then you go from there. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's the deal. But it's a slow news week. So what do you want me to do?
Well, I mean, there is good news, and we haven't talked about this. I'm very, very happy about that fan that fell over the stand at PNC has woken up. That was terrifying to read about.
Yes, yeah, no, I wanted
Oh
to
my
mention
gosh.
that a little bit in our next segment, just because
Okay.
it kind of I don't know if it goes in with it or not, but yeah, I mean that was a terrible situation.
Oh, yeah.
For those who don't know, there was a fan at PNC Park. What was it, last Saturday or Sunday?
It
I
was
think it
close to
was.
2 weeks ago, or
Yeah, it
one
was.
and a half. I don't know. It was recent.
It
It was
was. It was.
around the 20th, I think, or the
I think it
24th.
was a weekend series. I believe it
Yeah.
was a weekend series where a fan. It's like it's on video, and you sort of see the fan from far away. I
I won't
think like
watch that.
hopped up on the railing or something like that, or like did some kind of like a move
Mm-hmm.
onto the railing, and then just tumbled like back and down to the warning track.
Like a 20-foot fall.
Yeah, 20 foot,
Ugh.
21 feet or something like that. And Andrew McCutcheon, who was out there at the time, was like shaken by it, obviously, and
Oh,
I
who
mean
wouldn't be?
everybody's shaken
Yeah.
by it. I mean it's crazy. And this guy, I think, was like a high school football player or something like that, like
Yeah.
big dude, like strapping athletic dude, but was in the hospital for quite a while. I think still was in a coma for a bit,
Hmm.
and as you said, yeah, he's out of the coma now and he's talking.
Yeah.
Correct? Is that right?
I think he's talking. Yeah. I know for sure he's woken up, which is great news, but it
Yeah.
was.
But yeah, it's scary. It's very scary. But it's I don't know. It's there's a lot of people online who are talking about sort of like this guy. This is what happens when you drink too much. It's like, well, what?
Were you there? You don't know the story.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on here. So it's very touchy when these things happen, because people immediately want to comment on social media about what they perceive is going on in the situation, and it's not real. They don't know. So keep your mouth shut and
Hmm.
hope that the guy gets out of it okay, and seems like he's recovering. But it's a very scary situation, and this happens too many times. One is too many times for a fan to fall, out of a ballpark seat or down to the field or something. That's happened before, and in some cases it's been fatal and it's been terrible. So hopefully he completely gets out of this. And yeah, tough situation.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
we will come back in a moment to talk about fans behaving badly, like actual fans who behave badly, the real
Hmm.
fans who behave badly. And we will give you our 10 fan commandments for going to baseball games in Major League Baseball. Stay with us. Welcome back to Take Me Out. Tim here. Alex is there.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
So, I have been to many baseball games in my life. Many, 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 many baseball games. You, Alex, have also been to many, 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 many baseball games.
As previously discussed, at least 3. Yes. All right. Show off.
And yet every ballpark. Who knows how that happened? I don't know. So, being someone who's been to a lot of baseball games, you see all kinds of things at the ballpark, and you see all kinds of fans at the ballpark. And sometimes you are a kind of fan at the ballpark that you don't want to be necessarily.
Hmm.
And so I felt like this would be a good time. We're still early in our canon here in Take Me Out, to deliver what we feel are the 10 fan commandments for baseball games. As in, here's what you should follow when you go to the ballpark. Here are the things to keep in mind. Here are the ways in which you should live your life when you go to the ballpark. Here's how to not be a jackass, essentially. We're going to get into it. And some of this, look, I'm not doing this to put my foot down and say, you shall, I'm no, yeah,
Sit
the God.
down, you kids. Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not really coming from a place of authority and you have to follow this. It's kind of silly. It's kind of ridiculous, but there's some truth in everything. And
Hmm.
so take this with some humor, but also take this with just a little bit of seriousness, because again, I've seen all kinds of stuff at the ballpark, and I don't want you, fellow fan, to fall into a bad trap, to fall into bad habits, and to make the game worse for others. Because that's
Hmm.
why we're here, right? That's why we're here.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, at the end, it's just a game. You're having a great time, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have a great time. So
Yeah.
every ballpark has a code of conduct. They put this on their websites. Every fan should keep these things in mind, and this is sort of a shared Boy Scout, Girl Scout code that you follow it and you're good to go. And the typical things in these codes of conduct, you have Don't interfere with the fans' ability to enjoy the game. Don't use foul or abusive language. Don't be intoxicated or in a diminished capacity. High, I guess. Don't enter the playing field. Don't throw objects onto the field. I still remember as a kid going to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia to see Phillies games. Sometime in like after the first inning or in the middle of the second or something, they would play this video and it would be like trumpets, and they would like zoom into this like large baby on a mountain, I think it was, or like a large like bearded baby on a mountain who
What?
was like the god figure of Veterans Stadium, who would then tell you what the code of conduct, the fan rules were at Veterans Stadium.
And that sounds terrifying. I'm sorry.
It was slightly terrifying, but it was a cartoon. It was supposed to be like silly, right?
Yeah.
But they would then get into don't go on the field, don't curse, don't, all those things. But I still remember like that video, that like the trumpets and the mountain, and it may have just been a bearded guy, but I always thought of it as a bearded baby. So maybe I'm totally missing.
Do you know what this? I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they have the god up there.
It's what?
It's very Monty Python.
It probably was exactly a Monty Python.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it probably was.
That's what I'm thinking of right now.
But he wore like a Phillies hat. He wore a Phillies hat. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever the case may be. Maybe there was like a hand. There might have been a hand. I don't know. Anyways,
Okay.
or a foot. Maybe there was a foot. I don't know. But it was a funny video. But that's what teams want to tell you. Like, here's how you should behave when you're at the ballpark. So we felt, instead of just like going to the website and looking up your team's code of conduct, we give you the 10 fan commandments and you follow these and you're going to be good as gold for the rest of your life. Thoughts before we get into them?
Let's get into it. I'm excited about getting over these. Yes.
Okay. So
all right.
We'll do each of these. And I think what we should do is I'll pick one. You do a second. I'll do a third. You do a fourth. We'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
And, talk about it for a second, and we'll kind of like get into the discussion about it for a minute or two, and then we'll move on to the next one. How's that?
Perfect. Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so in the 10 Commandments, the biblical one, the Christian 10 Commandments, Moses and the sea and the whole the tablets and the whole thing. The first commandment is what? I am your God, right? It is like, I'm God and you have to obey me and da 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 da. I know this stuff and whatever, and I should be a better Christian than this, whatever, it's fine. The first commandment is the one that kind of sums it all up and says, here's the deal, right? So the first fan commandment of going to ballparks, thou shalt not be a loser. Alex, don't be a loser. So what does that mean?
I try.
What does that mean? I was at a Phillies game. Well, it was actually a Mets game in 2007. They played the Phillies at Shea Stadium. It was in that September when the Phillies made an amazing run and overtook the Mets to win the division. Biggest choke job in like baseball history, essentially, right? The game that we went to, we were upstairs in like the upper levels of Shea Stadium in the outfield. And I distinctly remember a Phillies fan starting a fight with like 20 Mets fans. Like,
how'd that go?
In the section below us.
How'd that go with him?
How it went was we watched the Phillies fan get pushed and tumble over 7 rows of seats like a bowling ball. The fan ended up like, on some row of seats, did not fall far, did not get hurt, except for his pride, probably.
Yeah, jeez. He wasn't hurt, though. That's impressive.
The moral of the story is don't be a loser. If you are at an opposing team's ballpark, and
you're outnumbered.
It's a rival team's ballpark. Don't be the person who starts crap. Unless you're my brother-in-law at Yankee Stadium when the Astros played them in the playoffs in 2015 and decided to just be that guy in the bleachers. In the left field bleachers, but he's a 6'5"
the left field
bleachers. He's a 6'5" firefighter, and Dallas Keuchel was throwing darts, and he got
thrown.
Oh yeah!
Okay. Oh my god!
And then the fans were just all upset at him, but they didn't do anything to him. But don't start stuff because it's going to end badly for you. You might get ejected from the game. You might get hurt. You might get pushed. You might get thrown at. Whatever it is, like you don't want that to happen. And yeah, you could say, "Well, they hit me." Well, you started it. Don't start it.
Yeah.
Don't start a fight. If you get accosted and fans want to fight you, laugh it off and move on. And if you move on, if you walk away and someone goes after you, they're the one at fault. Security will go after them. But the second that you engage back, the second that you like become part of it, again, you're the rival fan. They're going to take everybody else's side and not yours. So like,
Yeah.
if you are a rival fan, don't start a fight. Don't get in a fight. If you're just a fan of the ballpark and you're just trying to have a good time, don't start a fight. Don't get in the mix with stuff. Just don't. Laugh it off and move on. That's the big thing. Just laugh it off and move on. Thoughts on that?
I completely agree. I mean, it's also, not trying to encourage people, but like, if don't start something you can't finish, because but again, don't fight. But it's, if you're at an opposing team's, like your rival team's thing, like if you're a Red Sox fan and you're going to go to Yankee Stadium and try to start a fight, there might be a lot of Red Sox fans there, but you're outnumbered. Like I mean, just be respectful because you're on their turf. You are vastly going to be outnumbered, and people aren't going to look kindly on someone just visiting a thing who just wants to come start fights. That's a bad look. It's
if
stupid.
you're a Red, this is like a 2009 joke or something. But if you're a Red Sox fan going to Yankee Stadium, don't wear your Jeter sucks A-Rod SWALLOWS shirt. Those are real shirts, by the way. Those are real shirts, by the way. Don't wear that when you go to because you're just asking for it. The other thing I would say, and this is actually very much in the news because this happened recently with a fan in Cleveland who was heckling a Red Sox player, Jared Duran.
Oh.
Don't heckle players. Now, there is a line, right? If you are near the opposing bullpen and you're like, "Hi, you stink. You have dumb hair. You smell." Like, okay, you're being stupid and silly and funny, trying to be funny. That's fine. The heckling goes overboard when you make it personal, especially, but also when you just like cut deep and you try to get like too much into their like.
You mentioned something about their family. It's
don't heckle players. If you're going to, like, keep it like really like silly and goofy. Like, think of like the Simpsons episode where the Mr. Burns fields the team and it's the power plant team and gets the Major League All Stars and all that. Homer at the bat and Bart's heckling Daryl Strawberry. It is Daryl, like that's fine. Do that, but don't be like Daryl. You are like gay or something like that. Is, that's terrible. That's like totally wrong, and like it just doesn't happen. Like we don't do it anymore.
There's an account on Instagram. I think I had to unfollow him for some reason, but I need to follow him again. I can't think of the handle, and this is going to drive me crazy, but he does like very innocent. I think it's like MLB chirps, but it's a guy. I think he's based in San Diego, and like he has like a small following, and like when people around him, but he'll say stuff like, "Hey, Kyle Tucker, I bet when someone else calls shotgun, you still sit in the front seat, you bum." And it's just silly stuff like that. Completely innocent. And everyone loves it. The players love it. The players laugh. It's great.
Non sequitur. It has nothing to do with the player. It has nothing to do with like a person. Like that's the way to go.
Exactly.
Be silly, be dopey, be non sequitur, whatever. Like that's the way to go if you're going to heckle.
Yeah, it's exactly that's how it should be done. It's funny because it gets everybody laughing. Everyone's like, "Why did he just say that?" It's fun and it's great because you watch this guy and like the players will turn around and they're smiling like, "Okay, wow," it's funny. It keeps it lighthearted.
And if you can't be funny like that, then don't do it.
Yeah, then just stay at home.
It takes a certain mind to be funny.
Yeah, I'm sure he spends a lot of his time like writing these too because they're fun. It's great.
Okay, all right. That's the first one. So that's the big one. That like thou shalt not be a loser. Now we can kind of go from there, and we have 9 more to do, and they'll be a little bit quicker to get through because these are going to be a lot more direct. So go ahead. Yes. What's the next one?
Thou shalt know their limits. Yeah, and that involves intoxicating substances. Some that are legal, some that are not. But like for the typical ones, for the legal, keep it like 3 beer limit generally. If you go over that, that's your prerogative. Congratulations on having that much money to spend at a ballpark.
Yeah, really.
Because 3 beers, you're looking close to $40 right there. And also hydrate and eat. Like I think when I used to drink, when I would go out, I would try to follow this. I don't think I ever followed this. Have a bottle of water between beers.
Yep.
Yeah. It's because you need a. It's going to keep yourself. You're going to feel better in the morning, especially in the middle of the summer when you're drinking beer. It's like, yeah, it's going to taste delicious, but you are not doing yourself any favors by not drinking water.
Yeah, trust us as people who, well, you're sober, but I'm not, and I am 40. As you know, and being 40 and drinking alcohol, you know, you actually you feel it later, and it's not
Yeah.
great. It's not
And it's
fun.
louder too when you feel it.
It is louder. It is certainly louder. But also, and this is something that this again, we don't know anything about anybody's state when they go to the ballpark, right? Because like we hear the stories about the heckling and the fans falling and things like that, and we don't know what the deal is with any of these fans. We don't know what their state is. We don't know what's going on. But generally, I would note that I've been to a lot of games in the last couple of years. Generally, I feel like people are drinking more than they have been at ballparks. And I
Yeah.
think generally we as like people are drinking more, especially of our generation. We're both around 40 years old. I mean, we're both 40 years old.
We are both
But
40, yeah.
we have said this on the podcast. I'm not saying that to the, Alex is
Breaking
40.
news.
It's okay. It's okay. But all of us who are between like 35, 36, and like I think a lot of us, especially with the pandemic and everything like that, we have turned more to alcohol by and large, and in a way that, is probably unhealthy for a lot of us and many reasons. So I've seen that more come out at the ballpark, and I would just say, try to tone it down. Try to tone it down. Like think about the future. Have a non-alcoholic beverage. The more and more ballparks are putting in NA drinks and athletic brewing and stuff like that. Consider that as a possibility. Consider having more water. Consider having a soda if you want to have whatever. Just tone it down. You can have a beer. You can have 2 beers. You can enjoy yourself, but know your limits. Know those limits. All right.
What's next?
Third commandment. This one I'm very passionate about, and I really truly believe this. Thou shalt wear appropriate attire. Now, what does that mean? Well, of course, don't be naked at the ballpark. Don't be like close to naked at the ballpark. Like dress like a regular person for the most part.
Dress
Right?
like there's families around you.
There are kids at the ballpark. So that's the most base thing to do is like dress normally. But I'm really talking about this, okay? If you are between the ages of 14 and 65, do not bring a baseball glove to the ballpark. Do not wear a full baseball uniform at the ballpark.
I've seen it. And
now,
it's like, okay, why are you doing that? But okay,
The glove thing, I know some people are going to be upset at me for that because there are adults who bring gloves to the game. And look, well, that
comes later.
That's a special circumstance. We'll get there. I know there are adults who bring gloves to the game and they are not hurting anybody and they want to have a good time. And I could probably turn my head to that and kind of ignore it, and that's okay. Generally, though, if you are an adult and you're going to a ball game and you're sitting down low and you might be able to get a foul ball, you could probably catch it with your bare hand. I know you can. Go for it. Make it happen.
Seriously, catch the ball in a beer and then chug it. That's the way to do it.
The bigger thing for me is the uniform. We have seen grown men, it's always men, wearing full uniforms. Not just the jersey. I'm okay with jerseys. Jerseys are fine. Jerseys are cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Jersey. I don't care.
I have a lot of them. More than I should have, actually.
And it's at the point where you're doing the pants and you're tucking in the jersey.
And you're pulling the socks up.
And you got the stocks or the stirrups or the... Yeah. What are you... Like, you're not on the field. You're not getting called into the... You're not in the bullpen. They're not bringing you in.
You're not the manager. I think, isn't MLB the only professional sports team where like the professional league where like the manager wears the full uniform?
Yeah. Like, you're not the manager. You're not the coach. You're not like a scout. Scouts don't even wear uniforms. Stop it. Stop it. Be a human being and wear pants. Yeah. Wear pants. Shorts.
Yeah, exactly. Wear some jorts. Be cool. Get some cut off jorts. Let's go.
Be John Cena. I don't care. Don't wear a uniform.
No. All right. Now we are up to, what is this? The fourth commandment.
Fourth commandment.
Fourth commandment. Thou shalt ultimately be friendly. So if like you're in a playful fight, just diffuse at some point and laugh. It's don't let things escalate. If you can kind of like you can dish but make sure you can take it too. Like if someone says something like starts to jibe back at you and everything, don't be like it's like, okay, you just said something to this guy and you're not gonna let him say something back. It's like, just have fun with it.
No.
It's like you're having. That's what I do too. Like that's all these games I've been to all these different parks. Like especially after I quit drinking, I noticed that I'm just a lot more friendly to be around. And
right.
yeah, and it's. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're the visiting fan at the thing, it's like you're gonna want to be more friendly. You don't want to start anything, as we talked about at the very beginning.
Yeah, and this is kind of part of the "thou shalt not be a loser" commandment. This is inside that a little bit, because again, if there's a situation where you're being poked at in some way, you don't want to escalate that situation. You want to diffuse the situation. Now you can be level with the situation and throw it back, but playfully, right? And so you're trying to just be friendly. Ultimately, one thing that I do every time I go to a ball game, and we talked about this, I wear my Phillies hat, my trusted old Phillies cap, which
It's
I've
a
had
great
for like
hat.
15 years. I wear it at every game. Why do I do that? Not just because I'm a Phillies fan, sure, but there's something about seeing a jackass walking around in a Philadelphia Phillies hat that, as a fan, if I'm at like Busch Stadium and the Cardinals are playing the Brewers and there's a jackass wearing a Phillies hat walking around, I, as a Cardinal fan, will be like, what is this? What are you doing? Who are you? Right? And that has happened. In fact, at Busch Stadium, it's happened more than any other stadium. Like, I feel like Cardinal fans are the most like, why are you wearing that hat? Baseball hat. It's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
And immediately I'll be like, yeah, I'm a Phillies fan. But I also like to go to ball games, and here's why. And I got a book, and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm selling myself now. But the idea is to start a conversation with people. And it's a great icebreaker to wear like a different hat. So it's part of this commandment too, is be friendly by just talking to people. Now, if there is a solo single woman standing up in center field just trying to enjoy her food, you, as a middle-aged man, should not go up to that woman and say, hey, you come to the game often? What's your name? I'm Joe. What's your name? No, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's happened to me before.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
not
really
fun.
sorry.
It's not fun. I mean, as a woman, you try to be friendly because you don't know what these guys are like. But it's annoying. And
But my common thing is, if I'm standing up in an outfield situation near a railing or something, I will park myself next to typically like two guys. Maybe it's two guys and a girl. Maybe it's, three guys and two women, or whatever it is. Like, it's a group of people, typically more men than women. That way, like, me coming, like, standing there or whatever is not like something that's like, this guy's a creep or whatever.
don't want to
I'm
be
just like,
threatening. Yeah.
I don't want to be threatening. I just want to like friendly. Like, if the situation arises where I can say, hey, what do you guys like come here a lot? Whatever, like whatever the stupid opening line is, like I can make that opening line to those people and we start having a conversation. It's fine. But like, you want to pick and choose your spots to talk to people, but like, don't force it. Also, like, just be nice and be yourself. And if someone doesn't want to talk to you and like is clearly like kind of giving you shade, then like move on. There's thousands of people at the ballpark. You don't have to talk to everybody. So,
I had a interesting experience in Pittsburgh when I was at PNC. It was my first game, so I was sitting up in the nosebleeds right behind home plate, so I had the most beautiful view of the bridges and of downtown. And I was talking to this really nice couple. They were probably in their mid-60s, just super friendly, and then they said, "What are you doing after the game?" And I'm like, "I'm just gonna go back to my Airbnb." And they're like, and like nice people, but they're like, "Would you like a ride after it?" And I was like, "I think I'm gonna walk. Thank you, though." And it's like, I mean, I have the stranger danger thing happening, and I was like, don't ask people you just met at the ballpark if you can give them a ride back to their place afterwards. Don't do that. That's creepy. I'm like, I'm sure y'all are wonderful people, but no, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah. The John Mulaney joke is never do the second location.
Oh,
If
wait, no,
somebody
I've heard
invites
that
you
one.
to a second location, don't go to the second location.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's just like I don't want them to know where I'm staying for the next 2 nights. It's like it's not my house,
Exactly.
but it's where
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am.
And you just don't know. You really don't know what people
You
are,
never know. You
what
never know.
they're
Yeah,
like.
my
But yeah,
my
yeah,
sirens are going off. I was like, oh, thank you.
yeah. Scary.
All right, up next we've got thou shalt consider the youths. See if you catch a foul ball as an adult, that's really cool. If there's a kid within I typically go if there's a kid within 2 or 3 rows of me, or like in a section over who is like, I'm like, yeah, take the ball. It's a baseball. Yes, cool. Justin Verlander, I'm gonna touch that ball. Altuve might have fouled it off his bat. That's really cool. It's just a baseball. It's cool. Be chill about it. Let the kid have it. They're gonna love it. They're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So you mentioned the name up top.
yeah,
Look, man. Look, man.
dude. Yeah,
I've heard that he does give balls to kids. I've heard.
yeah,
And we can get into even more of this in a little bit. My role, and this is the weird thing, like I've been to hundreds and thousands of games in my life, and I've never caught a foul ball once.
Neither have I. I've been hit in the
Terrible.
collarbone with one. But that's the
Oh,
closest
there
I've
you
come
go.
to anyway. And the person didn't
Oh,
give me the
that's
ball
awesome.
after seeing
That's
that happen.
wonderful. Oh, that's not fair.
No, that was just, and like it hurt. I left a bruise, and I was like, "Hey, that bruised me. Can I have it?" The girl was who grabbed it because it rolled. It hit me, then it rolled in the row in front of me, and she grabbed it, and she was doing selfies with it. Like I'm sure I'm in the background of some of those pictures.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this lady, come on, but that hurt. But yeah, I've never. That's the closest I've come to catching a foul ball.
So I've never caught one, but from time to time, if I'm sitting in a section or whatever, and I'm just like in foul territory, and I know I could get one,
Mm-hmm.
I look around for like a second, like where's the nearest kid?
Yeah,
Where's the
that's
kid?
what I do.
Okay, there's a kid over there. If I get the ball, if I somehow catch a foul ball or end up with one, I'm immediately like zooming back into that kid and saying, "Here you go, buddy. Here's your
Mm-hmm.
ball." Like I'm just giving it up. And I have 2 kids at home. And I'm not, like I usually travel for these games, so I'm not gonna like put a ball in my. I mean, I could probably put a ball in my suitcase, but if I'm at a game and it's like a rush decision and a rush moment, and there's a lot of people there, it's like I'm just giving it up to a fan. I'm giving it up to a kid, and that's
Yeah.
it. The other thing with this is autographs. Don't be the adult who's like needing to get autographs. I know there are adults out there who are trying to fill up their books and get trading cards signed and things like that. And, they do that at spring training. I think that's one thing. Spring training is like a free for all, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the ball game, before the game, and everybody's like kind of hanging out at the first or third level there, or at the baseline. Just let the kids be in front and let them
Yeah.
stick out their hands with the markers and the cards and the balls and whatever else. Don't be the adult who's trying to get in there with the kids and get the autographs. It doesn't look good for you. Even if
You
you have
look like
kids
a
at home,
giant child.
even if
And
you have
not
a
in a
kid
good
at home
way.
or something,
Yeah.
like don't like you're not. Next time, bring your kid and have them go get the autograph. Like
Yeah.
don't be that person. And also, when you're walking around the concourse and you're trying to get from A to B, and trust me, I try to move fast through the concourse to like take pictures and take notes and stuff like that. But if there's a kid in front of me, if there's a kid coming at me or something like that, I don't try to block that kid. I don't try to like get in the kid's way. I move around. I move aside. Just like keep kids in mind, because kids, one thing happens to them at a ball game that is, that impedes on their enjoyment of the game. They will remember that for a while, and it can stay with them for a long time. And that sucks if you're the person who makes that happen. So always keep that in mind when you're at the game. Don't make a kid's day the worst day.
Do you remember, this is from about 15 years ago, and you can still find this clip. I believe it was at a Rangers game. A player tossed a ball up to a little girl. She had the ball in her hands while this Karen of a woman, and she had the Karen haircut, grabs it out of the little girl's hand. You remember that? And she just turns around to her friends like, I got the ball. And the little girl, the poor little girl, she was so sweet because she was like, well, okay. But it was like every time I see that clip, I am getting angry thinking about it. It's because this woman literally reaches and grabs the ball from the girl who's holding the ball in front of her that the player tossed it to.
It's poor.
It's awful. Awful behavior.
Don't be that person. Just don't be that person.
Don't be that Karen. Don't be that Karen.
All right. Commandment number 6. I'm going to combine 2 into 1 here because they go together pretty well here. And we talked about this with the Dodgers and the gondolas, but I'm bringing it back here.
Yeah.
thou shalt not arrive late or leave early.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we talked about with the gondolas, and I said that I get it. Dodger Stadium is the exception. It's the only exception to the rule here because it is a nightmare to get to and a nightmare to get out of. I've been to Dodger Stadium, and once I got there and I had to go through it myself, I understand what Dodger fans go through. You can't get to a game that starts at 6:30 local time if you just got out of work and you're trying to get there on time. It's like impossible to get there for first pitch. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So Dodger Stadium is the exception to the rule. Everywhere else, if it is after the middle of the second inning and you're still not at the game, don't go to the game. You're done.
Don't. Yeah.
You lost your chance. If it is before the middle of the eighth and you're leaving, again, I'm sorry, you're done.
Don't do it.
You could stay until the middle of the eighth inning. Now, if it's a blowout, if it's like 12-1 or 17-2 or something like that, and you're like, well, I can get out of here. No, stay. The games are shorter. The pitch clock is a thing. You can get out in the middle of the eighth, then you leave. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's a close game, and I'm saying within 2 runs after the eighth inning, stay the whole game. Whole game. Now, you might be asking me, Tim, I have a kid. The kid is little. I need to get the kid home. There's school tomorrow. Maybe you should have thought of that before you went to the game tonight.
So that sounds like a personal choice.
Maybe you should have thought about that, okay? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Be a fan and stay till at least the middle of the eighth inning.
What's the longest game you've ever been to?
Hey, man, and you know what? I don't think I've ever been to one that's super long. I feel like the longest game that I've been to, because I've never been to one that's gone long enough. I want to say like 13 or 14 innings.
Okay.
That's probably the longest.
I think mine was in 2016. I know the Astros still had Marwin Gonzalez, but it was an afternoon game. It was a 1:00 game. We didn't leave till about 5:15 because it went to 18 innings. Got to see 2 baseball games. It was great. And Marwin Gonzalez walked it off too. So It was awesome. I went to 2 baseball games in one day. Didn't even have to leave my seat. It was nice.
There is like this iconic Phillies game from 1993 when there's a couple back then. There was one that went really long. There was, I want to say in 93, there was like a 20 inning game or something like that. Like some ridiculously long game.
Yeah.
But then there was also a situation where they had a doubleheader and they had a rain delay for the first game. And the first game went long, and so they had a 30-minute break between the games, and the second game didn't start until like 1:30 in the morning. Yes, it's real. It's real. And so the classic story from that game, and it's real, is that there were fans who like went to work and had like second shift or third shift or whatever, and they got off of work and went to the bars. And when the bars closed, they were like, "Oh, the Phils are still playing. Let's go to the ball game."
That's insane. That's kind of cool, though.
It's amazing.
I mean, yeah, just pull an all-nighter and just go.
Yeah.
That's a great way to. And then like you're leaving the game at like 3, 4 in the morning, I guess. And oh man.
And that's what the Ghost Runner is taking away from us.
Yeah. Boo, Manfred. Boo.
All right.
Number 7, thou shalt watch the game. What else are you doing there? You're at the game to watch the game. Pay attention to the game. Look up every few seconds from your phone. Don't TikTok the entire thing. Don't be on Instagram the entire time. I have been guilty of this. I'm not going to lie. But I think every now and then I will get on Twitter because if something's happening on the field, you don't know exactly what's happening. But like the reporters are up there are like live tweeting it and saying, hey, this is actually what's happening because they're getting the information from the umpires and from the teams. I do like to go on there and see what's happening sometimes, but just stay off your phone. You're there to watch the game. You probably paid a lot of money to be there. I mean, if you're going to stay on your phone the entire time, then stay home. You can also pick up a new hobby. Learn how to keep score. I have been meaning to do that. I have a scorebook around my apartment somewhere. And I've been meaning to really learn how to do that. Like,
you don't know how to keep score?
No, I know.
All right, that's what we're doing. When we go to a game together, we are keeping score. I started keeping score when I was like 2.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's
okay.
how I learned the
Okay.
game, like really quickly. Keeping score is the best. Yes, I like to designate, like if I post on Instagram, I will look at Blue Sky. I will, text somebody, send a photo to my family. Hey, here's where I am today. That kind of thing.
Mhm.
I designate like a half inning to like really quick, just kind of get those things out there, get my Instagram post, whatever it is, like get it done, and then I
Mhm.
put it down.
Get it out of
And
your
yes,
system. Yeah.
I'll look at my phone like, every like several minutes just to like, what's going on, like anything going, like I get a text about whatever.
Mhm.
Just look at your phone real quick and then put it down. Or if you have to like dig into your phone for a second, look up at the game really quick, then go back down. Look up at the
Yeah.
game real quick, go back down. Especially if you're sitting in foul territory, because yes,
Yeah.
they have the netting, but you never want to be more. You want to be careful. So just be
Mhm.
careful when you're out there, and like don't just be looking at the phone all the time and not pay attention. Along with that, if you're having conversations with people, that's fine, but like don't spend the entire 2.5 hours just talking to somebody. Watch
Yeah,
the
just
game a
put like
little
this
bit.
blah blah
Watch the
blah
game a
blah
little
blah.
bit.
Blah. It's like yeah, it's yeah, and you also could be bugging the people around you because people. I mean, it's a loud environment. You're gonna be talking loud. It's just like okay, stop it.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
And that'll take us right nicely into our eighth commandment.
Yes, and that one is thou shalt not annoy. And I have an addendum that is not in our notes for our show, folks. So thou shalt not annoy. That starts insanely with don't start the wave. I am very anti-wave.
I don't like
I
the wave.
used
I
to.
don't
I
like the wave. Yeah,
hate it.
I don't like it.
It's distracting. It's disrupting. It shows disengagement. It blocks people. I mean, a lot of them happen in inappropriate times. Like your team is down 5 runs in the bottom of the seventh, and you're standing up and doing the wave, and it's always that one guy. All right, we're gonna do the wave. All right, everybody, let's go. What? And it's like, dude, oh my god! And it's always when the ball is in play, or it's never in between innings. It's always when
Bad.
play is happening on the field. And I have been very not nice to people about that before, and I will
Bad.
continue to do that because I hate the wave. I hate it.
I have never stood up for the wave ever in my life. Never.
I used to love it. I used to love it. I've never started it, but I used to be like, oh, the wave's coming, and now I'm like, because it's you're sitting down and like it's people are standing. It's just don't do it. Just
No.
don't do it. You're not the only person there.
So
Have some respect.
the other parts of this commandment, don't be loud in the stands. Like you could
Yeah.
cheer, you could be loud once in a while, but don't be consistently loud. And you
Mm-hmm.
know that person. There's always a person who's consistently loud. Don't be that person, okay? If you can if when you are yelling, you're the only one that you hear,
Yeah.
then maybe you're the problem. So don't do that.
If you can hear yourself on the rebroadcast,
Oh, that's a
you're
problem.
too loud because
Yeah.
that happens a lot too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Don't chant over and over. So this is not a ball game thing, but I would go see Eagles games at a bar with a lot of Eagles fans, and there was always this one guy who watched the game with everybody. And this is like a group of like 100, 150 people. And there
Mhm.
was always one guy who sat down and just every time the Eagles were playing defense, defense,
Bro.
just over and over and over and over. It was one guy. And at a certain point, you just want to like, guy, this is not going well. So don't be that person. If you are the only person you can hear, stop talking. Just stop doing it.
Yeah.
Don't be the only one standing up. It's
Yeah.
one thing to stand up in your row because you have to like get out of the row and go
Mhm.
somewhere, right? Like we all give ourselves grace to like be the person who gets up to walk out of the row. But if you stand up in the row for what, to clap and there's nobody else doing it, like there's time to
Congratulations, you're
clap.
being a jerk. Yeah.
There's 2 outs in the 9th inning and you're about to win the game. Yeah, stand up.
Yeah.
Everybody stand up in the section. Totally. It's a big moment. You're trying to get a run or whatever. You're down 1 or whatever. And it is a big moment and everybody's standing up. You stand up. But if it's like no score in the 4th and there's 1 out and somebody's up and you just want them to hit a home run and you start standing up and clapping, no, it's not the time to do it. It's not the time to do it. Don't stand up. So
No.
just know your place, know your surroundings, that whole thing. Don't think you're the star of the section. There's always one person who thinks they're the star of the section, like the wave person. Don't be that person. Just mind your P's and Q's. Have fun. get into it when everybody else is getting into it. Don't be that guy. And
Keep in
again,
mind, you're not the only
it's usually a
person
guy.
there.
Usually a guy.
It's 99.8% of the times a guy. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Ninth commandment. Thou shalt remember why you were at the ballpark. This is kind of an all-encompassing commandment, so we could spend very little time on this one. Look, it's a baseball game. That's what it is. You're not there just to go and play video games at the golf simulator and for all 9 innings. If you're in Milwaukee American Family Field, they have a golf simulator. You're not there just to play golf for 9 innings.
That's a strange thing to have at a ballpark, but okay.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a
cool,
thing.
but
it's like a top golf thing. But anyways,
okay.
You're not there to go to the bar inside the ballpark and just drink for 9 innings. Like there's a ball game happening. Watch the ball game. Now, if you have kids and the kids want to like run around and be crazy and play in the playground and the whole thing, like, yeah, you don't go do that. But make sure you spend 3 innings with the kids watching the game, even if they're like not really into it and they're like being, kids and moving around and not necessarily staying still. Like, just again, try to give them that experience of sitting down in a seat and watching the game for 3 innings, because or else like kids will think like the only thing I get to do at the ballpark and the only thing I want to do is go play in a play set. Like, yeah, it's not the reason you're there.
Yeah.
Watch a game. Ultimately, when you get older, that's why you're there. So like, instill it into your kids early on that like part of the experience of going to a ball game is actually watching the ball game, even if it's just for 3 innings. Just do that. But again, if you're an adult and you're there at a ball game and you're like, you want to see all the things and like have a drink and like, be at the patio thing and play the golf or whatever, like fine, do that stuff, but spend time watching the game too, because that is why you're there. And this one goes out to you content creators, because we're one of those. If you're a content creator, especially if you're a content creator who his entire life's work is to catch foul balls at ballparks, if that is your entire life's work, rethink yourself. Yeah. Okay? You're there to watch baseball. You're there to love and enjoy baseball. Don't just go there to shoot your videos and to think you're the coolest fan in the world because you catch baseballs or you're seeing all the cool foods and you're eating all the cool foods or whatever. Like, enjoy the game. I do research. I write books about ballparks. I tell people what to do at ballparks, but I also spend multiple innings sitting down in the seat and watching the ball game because I just want to watch some baseball.
Yeah.
Do that.
Exactly. It's like, I'm going to go to the ballpark because they have this really good drink and everything. I'm going to hang out and talk, it's just like, no, you're there to watch the game. That's part of the experience, but just keep in mind why.
Here are the 11 cool things you can eat now at Truist Park. You're like, no, stop. Like, watch the game.
Yeah. That's what the beat reporters are there for at the beginning right before the beginning of the season. Hey, here are the new things to go at the ballpark. Cool. The season hasn't started yet, so we can talk about this right now. In the middle of the season, we're gonna do this and this, and it's like, no, come on, we're still playing baseball here. And Final commandment: thou shalt change your perspective. Try different seats. Bleachers once, above home plate once, first base line once. That's what I like to do when I go to different ballparks. If I'm there for an entire 3-game series, I'll typically, the first game, I'll try to get one where I have the best view of everything. Like, I try to, like, especially when I was at PNC, like I was saying, right behind home plate, in 10 rows up, but still in nosebleed. So I have an incredible view. I love having a great view of the city or whatever landmarks that are around there. I while you still have the thing, it makes a really good panoramic picture. That's what I love to do. But that's typically for the first game that I'll do. My second game, I'll do something somewhat more luxurious. If they have a good club level, I like to do there. I like to treat yourself a little bit. And then for the third game, I'll do something where I'm kind of closer to the team, where I'm like maybe on the first or third baseline, wherever the dugout is. That's how I try to do it. So the first game I'll do best view, second, treat yourself, third, hey, I'm here to see my fun team, so we're gonna hang out right here.
Yeah, if I go to a park for the first time, or if I haven't been to a park in a long time and it's I'm doing research or whatever, I will buy the cheapest ticket I can, like upper level, something or other, and I will walk around the park and do my research, and then I will probably find myself in the outfield and stand up and watch the game from the outfield and have my food and talk to a fan or two or three or whatever. And then I'll go to some other part of the park and like see the game from another concourse area. Then I'll go to the seat that I actually purchased and sit there for an inning or two and watch the game from there. And then I'll go down back to the ground level and maybe try to find a seat down there if I can. And maybe, squirrel my way through. And so that's my, if I'm at a park once, right? But if I go to a park multiple times, if I'm Citi Field or Citizens Bank Park or Daikin Park, I will get tickets everywhere. And I will, sit in different places. I will see different things and try to have different experiences, because that's really cool to check out ballparks in different ways, experience them different ways. It's just something to keep in mind when you're going to games is you don't have to do the same thing every time. You don't have to sit in the same area every time. Yes, it's great to be in the shade and to feel comfortable, but also make yourself uncomfortable once to sit in the sun. See what that's like. Make yourself uncomfortable once. And
sure. Go outside your comfort zone. Get a sunburn. Let's go.
Go to Fenway Park and sit behind a pole. Try that out. See what it's like. Because when you do that, you'll realize how good it is in other places. I don't know. The point is to just experience things differently and have open perspective and open mind when you go to a ball game. And this really is a bigger tentpole kind of thing. When you go to a game and a city and a place where you've never been there before, or it's your first time, or it's a new thing for you in some way, have an open perspective. Have an open state of mind and be open to meeting new people and be open to seeing new things and eating new foods and trying new things and going into a city and checking out neighborhoods. I know so many people in my life and I've had questions from people who are like, well, cities are dangerous. What do you do about that? No, cities typically aren't that dangerous. They're actually kind of fun. And yes, there are parts of cities that can be dangerous if you go there at certain times of day, or, there may be parts of cities that, do have a reputation and they have more crime than others or whatever. But by and large, 99% of the time, cities are safe and they're fine. And so have open perspective and just go and check it out. So that's my big thing is just be open, be ready for anything and have fun when you're there. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Well, these are all amazing commandments, and don't take these as seriously as we think you should. But just you're there to have fun, have a great time, be safe, be courteous, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Baseball's fun.
It's great.
Fun. It's awesome. It's the best.
I love it. Yeah.
So enjoy it. Enjoy it that way. Those are our commandments. Thank you for hearing those out. I'm sure you're scribbling them down and you're taking notes and you're.
Remember, the most important one is don't start the wave. Don't be that guy.
Well, debatably,
unless you want to get some really good glares from people, but yeah.
Yes, but we'll post these commandments. We'll have fun with them. Keep these in mind. But thank you, and we'll be back in just a moment, and we will finish off the episode of Take Me Out. Stay with us.
You can follow us on Facebook. Follow Take Me Out on Facebook. Facebook.com/TakeMeOutPod. You can also follow us on Instagram. I'm going to try to get more active on there. I haven't been lately. I apologize. But you can follow us on Instagram at TakeMeOutPod. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hello, YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube as well. YouTube.com/TakeMeOutPod. Take Me Out Pod. That's all you got to know. Give us a follow, like, comment, subscribe, all the wonderful things. We do have a Patreon coming soon. We have everything lined out. We have the tiers you can do. It's going to be great. It is something we're still working on, but we're working to make it happen sooner rather than later. And then also, just find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, 5 stars. Tell your friends, share, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Tell everybody how much fun you're having, how you learned something new about the ballpark experience with Tim and myself today.
Yeah, great. How much you've learned about the wave and how much we hate it.
The wave, exactly. It's like, hey, I found out the way to make Alex mad at a game is to start the wave.
That's right. But yes, we thank you for listening, and hopefully we can grow this baby to more and more fans and keep this thing humming. So please tell people that you know about us. Give those 5-star ratings and a good review at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and help us out. We would really enjoy that if you helped us out as we continue our march toward relevance. Welcome back to Take Me Out. Final segment here. So I came across this press release. I will read this out, and we will go from there. For the first time ever, Cubs fans can enjoy signature Omaha Steaks favorites through the friendly confines. That was a weirdly read sentence by me. From juicy, perfectly aged Omaha Steaks beef burgers and classic Philly steak sandwiches at general concessions to new mouth-watering rotational items, including smash burgers, tenderloins, ribeyes, brisket, and more at all 5 Cubs premier club locations. This lineup is a grand slam for taste buds across the ballpark. Yes,
Fantastic.
Omaha Steaks is now partnering with the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Yippee-ki-yay. Wonderful. I've never actually had Omaha Steaks.
I can't say I have either.
People still do the thing where they get it in the mail, I guess. Great. I think I once gifted a friend, like a boss, Omaha Steaks before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing I did. But yeah.
Did they like it?
I don't know. They're still alive, so I guess so.
I didn't kill them. Congratulations.
Meat by mail is a weird thing, but I guess it's good. Nevertheless. So what I wanted to do here to finish off is, Omaha Steaks is now partnering with the Cubs. It makes sense. Omaha, Nebraska, kind of in that Cubs audience range in a weird way. The Midwest, they all kind of either like the Cubs or the Cardinals, essentially.
They like their steaks medium well, right?
Like their steaks. I hope not. Man.
Midwest. I mean, my sister-in-law, when my sister-in-law met my brother, she's from Nebraska. My brother had to educate her that steak should not be well done. It was a thing with our family, and my dad took it way too seriously. But she likes her steaks medium rare now. So
with ketchup, medium well with ketchup.
Jeez, how much steak sauce you got? No, it's.
I'm making steak for my daughter coming up in a few days because it's her first Holy Communion. And I'm gonna make a steak for her because she loves steak, and it will of course be medium rare toward rare. Really more toward rare.
Yeah.
She likes a bleed. She likes a bleeder.
Well, you also cannot uncook a steak, though.
That's
it's
right.
Always safe just to undercook it. Just
bit. Salt and pepper. Just salt and pepper. That's all you need. Yeah. That's all you need.
You don't have to do the cast iron butter thing with time.
Cast iron, the butter base with the garlic and the rosemary. Yeah, you know how it is. You know how it is. Yeah. Nevertheless, we're going to spin the wheel, as we do sometimes here on the podcast, and we are going to find out which team the wheel tells us to pick. We'll take that team, and we will align them with a national food brand, a la Omaha Steaks, that they would have to serve at the ballpark. It's silly, it's dumb, but that's what we do here in this final segment. So we're going to spin the wheel and find a team, and then we will align that team with a national food brand that they have to serve at the ballpark. Are you ready?
I am ready. Tim, spin that wheel.
We are spinning the wheel. Oh, all the teams are here on the wheel, all 30, and it will end up with, well, this is interesting. It just went across to the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
Now, the Atlanta Braves. Now they already have quite a bit of a chain presence at Truist.
Mm-hmm.
Chick-fil-A is there. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I believe there's a couple other chains that have presence at Truist.
I'm sure Coca-Cola is huge there too.
What's that?
I'm sure Coca-Cola is huge there too.
Coke. I'm got to be Coke products all over the park there. Yeah. There has to be.
Yeah.
So we have to, come up with another food brand nationwide that would make sense. Now we're talking about the South. We're talking about, like a Bojangles, it's down there. Waffle House,
Waffle House. Oh, Tim, that's it. Yes. Oh my God, that would make it. Oh my God.
There's gotta be a ballpark Waffle House.
You gotta have it. Yeah. That's it. But so I think what you would do is you have the Waffle House kind of but on the main concourse, like the street level. So you would have an entrance from outside and from the inside, and but it would still be 24-hour. You would just close off the part that would go to the ballpark when there's no games happening, unless you kind of would have the window. You could still see the ballpark inside, kind of like when you have you have the bleacher bar at Fenway, where you can still kind of watch part of the game and everything. But you would so. During the games, you'd have to have a ticket to get into the Waffle House.
Yeah, I think
I would say so. Yeah,
a ticket so. Let's imagine this Waffle House is at Truist Park. It's near the Chop House, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like if we're doing a bleacher bar kind of a thing, it should be baked into the outfield fence. Just imagine if you're at Truist Park and you're sitting behind home plate or whatever, and you look out to right center field. and there's the yellow Waffle House sign.
That's just amazing. Yeah.
Just like illuminating
that's
from
such a
the
good
fence,
idea, though.
right?
Yeah.
And you can like actually look into a Waffle House if you have a binocular or whatever. And you're looking at that fence, and you look through the fence, and you see like
oh, those pancakes look really good.
And like a Waffle House is happening, right?
Yeah.
So like it would be a special section that's part of like right center field, let's say. And yeah, if you get tickets to that area, let's say they're relatively cheap, because it's not like you're not spending $100 so you can have the Waffle House like experience, right? You're spending probably like $40. It's not the all you can drink bar with the sushi and stuff like that. Like it's a Waffle House, like there's tiers to this, right? So it's like a $40 ticket or $30 ticket. And it's probably more designed for like college students and, young professionals and just people who are hanging out or whatever. And so you get the ticket for the area. And yes, the ticket gives you entrance to the Waffle House. However, you only can go to the Waffle House after the game is over. So you hang out in the section, and then once the game ends and you've had a couple beers and you've, watched a ball game and you feel good, then you just kind of go into the Waffle House, and now you're having your post-game breakfast at 10 o'clock at night.
It's like we were talking about that game that went to like that doubleheader that didn't start till 1:30 in the morning. It's perfect for that.
Oh my God.
Yes. I wouldn't want to leave.
So maybe you can't maybe it's not just a post-game thing. Maybe you can go in there during the game, because if
you need
there's
a cup of coffee,
game, and you're like, oh, I mean, are you kidding me?
That's it. That's printing money. Oh my God.
The Waffle House inside Truist Park.
Yeah. It is a shame though that Denny's has a Grand Slam breakfast, because that would be perfect with Waffle House there though. Unless you can like,
it would.
Yeah.
But you can you can name, certain Braves things. Like you have your blooper, your
the blooper breakfast plate.
The blooper breakfast plate.
Instead of like the blue plate special, it's the blooper plate special.
Oh my God. and then instead of like, and then you have like the freeze, but it's a milkshake.
Yes.
No, the freeze. Yeah.
God.
And it's a mint shake. It's a mint shake because the freeze wears green.
Yes. It's a mint chocolate chip shake. It's called the freeze. That's perfect. Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this?
I don't know. This is why we need more people to listen to us, so we can get these amazing ideas out there, and then we can have it on the record that we came up with this idea.
I'm sure one of our 30 listeners is definitely somebody who works with the Braves
or know someone, or know someone who knows someone.
They're just taking notes, and then it's going to open, and then they're not going to credit us with this. This is terrible.
We were first. We were the first ones. At least we know.
Waffle House inside Truist Park.
That's it. It's so easy. It's perfect.
Do it, Braves.
Do it.
What are you waiting for? All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Take Me Out. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Next week, we're still ironing out the ideas of next week, but we have some ideas in the can. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Okay?
Don't you worry, little hearts.
That's right.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm Tim.
And I'm Alex. And it's baseball season.
See you next time.
Good night.